Fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique together. I want to encourage those on Facebook and YouTube, please share the live. Sharing is caring. When you share the live, you give your friends on your page, because you see, sometimes your friends are not really my friends on Facebook. But when you share the live, then you give them that opportunity to discover the program, to follow the program. Also, you can do the same thing on YouTube. Once you share that link on WhatsApp, you can share it on Facebook, you can share it on Instagram. In other words, getting more of your friends to discover the program. You have a lot of programs out there, pretty much crying down government, attacking government, going after government, because we have always had a high number of obstructionists, activists within Grenada who always have an agenda, right? They want to see the NDC fail. When NNP is in power, you don't find a lot of, people in talk radio or in the podcasting world going against government and some of the things that they're doing against the people and so on. They would just toe the line. But when it comes to NDC, you would have a lot of them. In other words, they are reactivated. Some of them were somewhat dormant or quiet. They have been reactivated because a lot of money spending, plenty money spending to have these people go there and make noise. In fact, you are hearing members of parliament on the opposition side saying to their supporters, saying to their minions, saying to their pundits and surrogates and, supporters generally, call a radio program, right? Go on the radio, call those programs and speak and say this and say that. That is what they're actually doing, because they believe politics is about having a number of people out there making noise, talking the country bad, and crying down government. And as a result, the opposition forces will get a rise in terms of popularity, likability, viability, and so on. That is what they believe. They believe if they can get their people to go there and scream aloud, right? Scream out, then people would say, boy, something not right here. That is what they believe. And they have been doing that for a lot of years, having their supporters go there and make noise. And it worked in the past. It worked very, very well for them. But Grenadians are experiencing a different type of governance where we have an NDC administration who has really, changed the way we get information. And we have to admit it. we have a group of young politicians who are using social media to their advantage. You see, when you have ceremonies or launch of this or sod turning ceremony or anything government is doing, they're doing reels. And reels are really a short version of, of that big thing, right? That's a bit catchy, a summary then of something. If you want to get that short message out there, reels are ideal for that. And then you have TikTok videos, excuse me, and so on. Because people are no longer interested. Well, let's say the younger uh, people, right? The youth, they are no longer interested in long videos. It's about short, concise, straight to the point. They're no longer interested in 30 minutes or 10 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes. They're interested in 30 seconds. They're interested in 60 seconds, 1 minute, speaking to that thing. And our politicians, right, particularly those on the government side, they have been doing a fantastic job with that. They've been making short videos, posting that up, and people are seeing. They are putting up the videos and the photos. And I love the comparison, the before and after photos or videos, short, straight to the point. So they have revolutionized the way politicians get the message out, the way ministers of government get their message out. And that's a very, very good thing. And I want to commend them. I want to applaud them. So it's a difficult thing for the opposition forces who are accustomed to misinformation, who are accustomed to propaganda, who are accustomed to putting stuff out there to confuse people. It's difficult now for them because we have a young team of men and women who understand how to use social media and how to get the message out. And I want to applaud them. Keep doing what you're doing because people are noticing it. People are noticing it. So I want to feature our beloved Prime Minister, for example, to start with, right? He did that reel on Facebook speaking to the upgrade, right? The license. You can upgrade your license, and he spoke to that in very straight language.
Mr. Speaker, the aim of the bill is pretty straightforward. It addresses the opportunity for persons who hold, in effect, a B class, a C class, or C1 class license to be able to upgrade their license without sitting an exam by moving from B to D class, or from C to D class, or from C1 to D class, if they have driven for more than 5 years in that particular class, and if they deem mentally fit to continue driving. Now the B, the C, the C1 and the D class licenses, Mr. Speaker, obviously associated with the type of vehicle that one is permitted to drive. And to a large extent, that's what the D class license is. I'm saying by description of vehicle, a pickup truck, but a proper description based on the Road Traffic Act. We'll see a vehicle that is 7,000 kgs and on. Mr. Speaker, what we find is a situation where, small business owners who are electricians, or plumbers, or farmers, find themselves where the employees have a private B-class license. They can drive a car, they can drive an SUV, but they can't drive a pickup to drop them in or to drop equipment. And in many instances, the owner himself oftentimes has to be the driver, which takes away from his ability to actually move his own management of the work. And so oftentimes what you find is that the owner or the manager's drive on the person with the class license has to find themselves driving a pickup to drop the person who actually can drive. So the challenge, Mr. Speaker, is that should have give young persons the opportunity to be able to get a D-class license.
Yeah, and that's a very, very good move, if you ask me, by the government. And let me play for you a news piece speaking to that, and the Honorable David Andrew, he addressed that in the Senate nicely.
Member of the Upper House Senator, the Honorable David Andrew, says the emphasis on the amendments to the Road Traffic Amendment Bill should not be the possible risk involved, but the benefits to the economy and professional services. Senator Andrew presented the bill to the House on Thursday, which seeks to upgrade driver's license without examination and reduce the minimum age for D-class license from 25 years to 18 years. The proposed upgrades are available for B, C, and C1 classes of licenses to D class and targets drivers with more than 5 years experience and those deemed medically fit.
The issue of risk, I think the insurance agents and agencies are experts, and that's their field, that's their business, and risk mitigation, risk coverage, risk assessment. We don't get anywhere without risk. Everything carries a certain amount of risk, and the insurance companies are experts in covering or attempting to mitigate and cover those risks, and so we anticipate that they would act accordingly. But happily, the empirical evidence does not suggest that there is extremely high risk with goods vehicles, as opposed to passenger vehicles. And so we could appreciate that it may not necessarily result in as costly a risk coverage as may be the case for Class C, C1 vehicles. This provides an excellent opportunity to empower our young people, to empower and encourage farmers. In fact, I know the senator on the other side for farmers would be quite elated to hear that, because it allows for a lot more young persons to be enabled, to be empowered, to get engaged in the construction sectors, in the business sectors, in the agriculture sectors, and this we know will serve our economy well.
Senators Gloria Thomas, Norland Cox, Salim Rahman, and Roderick Sinclair all say the amendments are a step in the right direction.
We must have a group of young people that are supported in developing a business or strengthening their business. Madam President, we must commit to people's empowerment, especially our youth. This gives many of our youth hope. Some may argue that this is risky, but there will always be some measure of risk involved in all areas of life.
I think this is a very good first step, and it's a good idea. However, there are some matters I just want to expound on a little bit as regards to this amendment. I know that initially the whole concern, I think, via the insurance companies had to do with risk. After just attaining a driver's license at the age of 18, in terms of the experience and the capability to handle a particular type of vehicle, I think that is where the whole concern emanated from. However, we recognize the challenge in terms of the restrictions in terms of opportunities for persons based on the type of business. So I think while there might be a cost associated with for persons who now have to go and get a license at a particular age, I think the insurance company may, in some cases, charge more because, of course, the risk does not remove itself in any way whatsoever. However, the opportunity is there for such individuals who may have to pay a little more, but you will give them an opportunity to actually utilize that vehicle to carry out the duties. So I think that is, it's a good thing.
I'm very pleased with this change. Sometimes very small changes can have a big impact on our economy, and I believe this is one of them. And quite frankly, I don't understand how it took so long to change this. It has been obvious for so many of us, and I've spoken about this more than once, as did my colleague next to me. A few things. One, it will provide new opportunities for businesses to hire drivers. It will provide young people coming out of school an opportunity to start their own business and go to the bank and get one of these used sales vans and go around the country and do their own business. It is really a tool that will help to empower our young people.
This would create also new opportunities for persons, mechanics, and all of those other areas. So I think that this injection, I wonder why we have to be sitting down and think about this thing so long. Again, as I say, maybe it was because it was outside of the box.
Right. So, well, you heard it there, folks. And what stood out with the presentation of Rahman and the presentation of the goodly senator for agriculture was the whole question of why this thing took so long, right? You had a government, a party in power for 20 something years. 20 something years. And they never had the foresight, the vision to actually bring such a bill before the House to be amended to afford our young people, to afford our people generally the opportunity to upgrade their license and to do their little business, to do their little stuff, right, with ease. And that is really commendable. But again, we have a visionary leader. The Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell is a visionary leader. And the team, they are forward looking, they are progressive. And that's not the first time I heard something like that coming from the parliament or coming from the people, where people are saying, but why this thing took so long? And within a short space of time, this new team could just do it, get it done. And my mind is clicking back on a number of things that we saw that people thought was impossible, that people thought was, out of this realm, out of this world. But we saw it under the NDC in the last 1 year and what? How many months? We have April, so April, May, June, right? 1 year and about 9 months. I am saying we have a good team of men and women. And maybe you can, reference other things that were done within such a short space of time that the NNP could not get done. We talking about the minimum wage order. The NNP was in power for 23 years and a half, and they never, ever adjusted the minimum wage so that our people can get better wages. Small as it might be, it made a significant difference for a lot of people, There were people who were working for $700, and instantly they started getting $1,200. There were people who were working for $800, and instantly they started getting $1,400, right? As Lydia James is saying there, the pension, for example, the NNP made Grenadians believe that it was impossible, or if we pay the pension, everything will crash. The economy will crash. You remember that? They made us believe that, and look, I think there's a piece from the NNP, Let me see it. and just listening to, let me see, where is that piece? Let me see if I get that piece. State of, let me see if I get a piece. You know, it made you believe. Let me see, somewhere here, you know, somewhere around here. Let me just look and see, because I think just the tone of voice from Keith Mitchell, for example, he made you believe that everything is crashing, everything is falling apart, or everything will fall apart. Right? Can't remember where he said. I think it was in the state.
Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell says the payment of state pension to public workers must be properly managed to avoid completely derailing the economy and crippling the country's future developmental plans. Dr. Mitchell told the gathering on Tuesday during his national address that government, unions, and stakeholders must collaborate to set out a viable roadmap under which the obligations could be met. The recent High Court ruling reinstating public sector pension scheme rules creates a huge financial pension obligation that is additional to government's contribution to the National Insurance Scheme on behalf of state employees. The 2022 fiscal impact is estimated at between 2.2 and 7.9% of the GDP, largely depending on how current employees who already meet the reinstated scheme eligibility conditions react to the court ruling. According to Dr. Mitchell, the payment of pension to workers will require government to source an additional estimated $400 million.
While these fiscal obligations of the court ruling are still being tabulated, preliminary indication, and these are just preliminary numbers, are that we will have to find at least $465 million. Sister brothers, take that in. $465 million. That's not all. And then on average, we'll have to find $120 more million each year for at least the next 37 years. And that figure is without considering inflation. 37 years, Keith Mitchell will not be there. Let's get it. It's not a Keith Mitchell issue here. All are we. The fiscal impact of the court ruling will be dominated by benefit obligation towards current employees who could have retired earlier.
Right. So, folks, I don't have to play the entire thing, but I wanted to bring or to play aspect of that, just a little piece. You listen to the tone, just his tone, frightening, scary, making people afraid. That is what he injected. Fear, the fear factor. He said it would, just preliminary estimates, Grenada had to find $465 million, you know, to pay the pension to public officers, you know. And he said annually we have to find 120 million. But amazingly, when NDC came into power, they made this thing look so easy, right? It cost Grenada. Let me just take that call. It's very important. Let me just take that call. Bear with me.
Remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And onward to progress we surely will. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production.
Right. Thank you very much there. Yes. So, folks, I had to take that call. It's a very important one. Sorry for that. Yes. So I was saying, when NDC came into power, it cost the state, right, just $75.1 million, you know. And you know, it would have been less if the most honorable Deacon Mitchell didn't decide, well, there are police officers, there are some, public officers who entered the service, worked for 5 years, and then got permanent, right? So they lost that 5 or 10 years. But he decided, no, we're going to add that onto the years of service and pay them in full, the gratuity and the pension. So they got more pension. Well, some of them qualified for pension because of that, and some got more money as a pension and more money as a gratuity. And that was really commendable. That's a prime minister with a soul, with a heart, right? Who cares about the people? But I am saying just about 75.1 million or so dollars, But when you listen to Keith Mitchell, there, the man scared people. He made people afraid, right? And that's just one example. So you heard there in the parliament, and maybe I can play that piece again with Rahman and the senator representing agriculture and the others speaking about why it took so long, right? Why this thing took so long to really happen. Something as simple as that. All right? Very, very simple. Maybe I can just play the latter piece down there, right, for you.
Involved in all areas of life.
I think this is a very good first step, and it's a good idea. However, there are some matters I just want to just expound on a little bit as regards to this amendment. I know that initially the whole concern, I think, via the insurance companies had to do with risk. After just attaining a driver's license at the age of 18, in terms of the experience and the capability to handle a particular type of vehicle, I think that is where the whole concern emanated from. However, we recognize the challenge in terms of the restrictions in terms of opportunities for persons based on the type of business. So I think while there might be a cost associated with for persons who now have to go and get a license at a particular age, I think the insurance company may, in some cases, charge more because, of course, the risk does not remove itself in any way whatsoever. However, the opportunity is there for such individuals who may have to pay a little more, but you will give them an opportunity to actually utilize that vehicle to carry out the duties. So I think that is, it's a good thing.
I'm very pleased with this change. Sometimes very small changes can have a big impact on our economy. And I believe this is one of them. And quite frankly, I don't understand how it took so long to change this. It has been obvious for so many of us. And I've spoken about this more than once, as did my colleague next to me. A few things. One, it will provide new opportunities for businesses to hire drivers. It will provide young people coming out of school an opportunity to start their own business and go to the bank and get one of these used sales vans and go around the country and do their own business. It is really a tool that will help to empower our young people.
This would create also new opportunities for persons, the mechanics, and all of those other areas. So I think that this injection, I wonder why we have to be sitting down and think about this thing so long.
Yeah, and I think that's the part that I love. Why so long? Why it took so long? Well, the reason why it took so long is because we never had a visionary leader and a team of men and women who were brave enough to do such a thing that would really impact positively nearly everybody. The young people, middle-aged, there are people who wanted that to happen long. So it's very clear. The most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team They are brave, one, but they're visionaries. They're visionaries. And I used the pension as an example. But do you know, the same Keith Mitchell is coming back to Grenadians as some moral authority, right? And you ask yourself, but Grenadians forget what this man said regarding pension, for example. This man scared the hell out of a lot of people in this country, when it comes to the pension issue. He scared a lot of people. But there are other things. I spoke to you about the minimum wage order, and other people might be able to point to something else, some other thing. The tuition support, for example. That was something that should have happened years and years ago. And we would have had more graduates coming out of TAMCC. We would have had more people saying they have the tertiary level, or they have a tertiary level education or some skill. I gave you a real scenario of a young person who said to me, she's going back to school. And that is what you would hear in the developed countries, where working people deciding to go back to school, go back to college, and get a degree to earn more, to be more competitive. In Grenada, that is happening now. But I just pray and hope that our people do not forget who made it possible for them. The kind of changes we are seeing today in Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. Don't forget how these things came about. It is because the NDC is in power. We talk about the regularization of workers. This is key. Under the NNP, it was contract, contract, contract. Under the NDC, we are seeing workers regularized, getting security of tenure. They can go to the bank, they can go to the credit union, they can get a loan, they can own their own home, they can own their own vehicle, it's different. It is different under this administration. I mean, they cannot do everything instantly. It will take some time. But at least they have the courage to start the process. I am not saying that everybody within the service who on contract will be regularized, but they're starting the process. The NNP will be out there saying to you, well, look, they say they will regularize. Well, the NDC has 5 years in power, a term, 5 years, not 2 years, not 21 months. No, it's far more than that. So I am simply saying the NDC is different. They are working with a plan, and they must be commended for that. Folks, you can actually call this morning. If you want to get in on the program to say anything, you can. The number is 415-4817, 415-4817. If you want to get in on the program, if you want to say anything, you can. The number is 415-4817. You can call me on WhatsApp. You can call me straight, 415-4817, if you want to chime in. So you're free to call in and chime in if you want to, right? Be short, be brief. But you can actually call in and say what you want to say as I discuss this. Because I am saying, Grenadians, we are blessed to have as our Prime Minister the most Honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team. But I just hope that we do not forget where we were and where we are today, and how we arrive here, how we are enjoying all of this, and because of the team that we have. It is different. If the NNP was in power, we would not have been enjoying what we are enjoying today. And that's something that people tend to forget. They tend to forget this thing easily because you get caught up. A lot of good things are happening for people, and you just forget what existed under the NNP. That's something that one must think of and remember. Do not forget. It's easy to forget these things, huh? Because something else would happen, something else will come on board, something else would occur. And you just forget that. You know, a friend was saying sometime during the week, while reminding another friend, don't forget where you were and what you were going through and how a particular individual came to your aid, came to your rescue, and got you to where you are. And now you're enjoying, a lot of stuff, right? Things are working for you now. But do not be ungrateful. Do not forget where you were. And folks, you are free to call as I speak. If you want to call, you can. In Grenada, there is a selected few who call programs every morning, every day, and they believe they have the monopoly on ideas. So they go to Grenville, they see something, they run, and they call a radio program. They go to the market, they do the same thing. They go by the school, they do the same thing. They go in the church. In other words, they believe they have the monopoly on everything. They see X, they see Y, they call and they vent. And nothing wrong with that. But I think there are people out there with ideas that they can share. Let me entertain this caller. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I'm good, fine, thanks.
Yeah. You're talking about the upgrade of the license, right?
Yes.
Do they upgrade from D to D1?
No. D1
Okay.
it speaks to the passenger buses and so on, or trucks. What it speaks to. They did not mention D1. No.
Okay, no problem.
What D1 refers to, speaks to?
From higher, the bigger trucks.
Yeah, no. You have to go and go through the normal procedure to be able to drive that.
Okay.
All right.
And the next point I want to make to you, the Imanis, right?
Yes.
I was listening to a young lady cry. She went to get a loan, and they kind of turn her down because she works Imani. But what I was saying, I feel the government could come to a conclusion. Like they made a couple of years, like let's say the past 5-6 years, I think they should make them, some of them, permanent. I ain't saying all of them,
Well, I think that
so
was actually mentioned, that it's in stages, right? They're not regularizing everybody at once, but I think it's a three phase approach to this whole thing. If I can recall clearly, I think they spoke about Imani trainees. They will be appraised, they will be assessed, and those who pass that assessment will be made permanent, because you can't just say everybody will be made permanent like that. They have to be assessed. But I think that was mentioned. All right.
Okay,
All right,
man.
thank you. Blessings.
Yeah, man. You have a nice day.
Nice. Yeah, I think that was mentioned. I have a good memory. I don't think it would fail me there. I think it was mentioned, regularization. Regularization. I think it was mentioned. Let me. I always like to go back to that. I think it was mentioned somewhere. All right. I stand to be corrected, but I think it was mentioned that it's a 3-phase approach. All right. As the caller asked, it is so important to provide evidence of that. Let me just play that a little bit.
Peak. And once we cannot perform at our peak, then it affects the economic growth and certainly the growth of our nation in its entirety. So this is seen as a big issue. So what we decided, in order for us to tackle this exercise, we needed to have a sense of what the situation really looks like. So we've done a situation analysis, and we noticed current situation revealed to us that almost 300 officers were acting or on assignment in the public service. And we noticed that almost 2,000 workers were engaged with over 8 different modes of engagement in the public service. And we've mentioned prior what the other current issues were, particularly with the professional immobility and the inability to access finances to support personal development. But we didn't want to focus on what the current situation is because it is what it is. And we wanted to focus more so on the desired situation. So we've wanted to see a more standardized engagements in accordance with the public service regulations. The desired situation we would want to see is where we have officers with security of tenure, the equilibrium between costs, because I think we would appreciate that persons who are not enjoying the benefits will eventually want to be at a position where they can leave after a few years with some means to earn something after they would have served. And I think we need to appreciate that this is really a significant issue that we have to marry the pension in relation to the regularization. Because I think
Right. So I was trying to get
the
that.
reform of the pension becomes question then become
Right.
how do we move from the current to the desired state and improve the moral?
Right. I'm looking for that piece that speaks to the phases, but I'm not getting it. All right. But people can bear me out on that because I think it was mentioned. The phase that
The Ministry of National Security, Home Affairs, Public Administration, Information and Disaster Management held a press briefing on Wednesday to update the public on the regularization of workers with the announcement of the official launch of the regularization exercise scheduled to commence from October 1st. Permanent Secretary in the Department of Public Administration, Lindonna Hille Marshall, says the process of regularization has already started, with several individuals already confirmed in their positions. The first phase is expected to be completed during the last quarter of 2023.
So the decision was taken for us to approach the regularization on 3 phases. The first phase, we would look at persons in acting, temporary, on assignment, and probationary status on the establishment. And as we mentioned, that process has already started, and we are optimistic by the end of December 2023, we should complete the first phase of the regularization exercise.
The second and third phases, which include the regularization of workers on contractual arrangements and Imani trainees, is expected to be completed over the next 2 years.
The second phase, which would look at persons holding PSC contract of service, daily paid, and persons holding ministry letters. That phase we trust we would be able to advance through in 2024. And then we're going to be in a position to start looking at the third phase, which would look at people who are holding contracts for service, as well as the Imani trainees.
PS Marshall.
Right. So we got that. So I was correct there. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much, dear indeed. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Cam.
Good morning.
Hi, my name is Janelle. I live in New York, but I'm here in Grenada right now visiting.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
And I just want to piggyback on, like everything that you're saying, because I do see the vision for the country and I do have high hopes that they're moving in the right direction.
Beautiful.
And in the meantime, I want to wish your biggest supporter, Sharon Lord. Today is her birthday. So
Oh,
I want to
wow.
wish her a very happy birthday.
Nice. Happy birthday to you, Sharon. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes, Sharon, happy birthday to you indeed. And take a juicy cool on me. Remember that for those who have been following the program for quite a while. Yes. So it is important, sometimes when people ask certain things, I like to back it up with facts. So I'm happy that I was able to get that piece, because I have a very good memory when it comes to things that were said in the past and what is in my archive, to really put that on the table for you. So the Imani trainees, they will be regularized after being appraised, right? It can be a carte blanche approach, just take everybody and, no, it has to be differently. So let me just take that call here. Let me take that call. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Hey, morning.
Yeah, good morning. How you doing?
Adequate.
All right.
Oh, I was saying a long time ago, when the government announced that they're giving the opposition MPs $10,000 every month for the constituency, I don't think that is a good idea. One, that's going to help them to keep their people with them. What I think they should have done is to give the people that on their side that lost the election, they should give them that 10,000 for the constituency. Wherever they lost, they should give them that 10,000 for the constituency, because that's going to help get supporters to them. But giving the opposition MP $10,000 every month, that's going to just help to keep their supporters. It should never be. I think that's a bad thing they're doing. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear caller. Thank you very much indeed. And it's a new type of governance. It's a new type of governance. And me and you, we are pretty much on the same page, But it's a new type of governance and we have to embrace it. Again, let's see how it goes. There is a level of accountability and transparency with that allotment, with that money. It's not that they're getting the $10,000 in their hand like that. All right. They have to prove that they're doing X and Y with it first, and it has to be approved by the ministry, a particular ministry. All right. So it's not that easy. It's not that easy. So have no fear. It's not that easy from what I have discovered. So just as they were making noise for the money during the independence time, and they were asked to present the invoices to prevent evidence of what it will be used for, and back it up with invoices and so and they were not able to do that. So many of them did not get it. It's a similar thing with the $10,000. All right. So just reassuring you, it's a similar thing. They have to back it up. Yeah, they have to back it up. So have no fear, but it's a different type of governance. But we are on the same page. I am that type of person. If you're my opponent, I will crush you to make sure that you never raise your head to even be competitive to me the next time round. That is me. But I think it's a new type of governance, and let us see how it goes. Right? I am a bit different. If you run against me and you lose and I win, there is no way you would raise your head again. I will make sure that that's not possible. All right? That's me. That's Kem Jones. But you know how it goes. All right? Yeah. So I am saying there's a lot of firsts with the NDC. And I think it's important for us to document it and showcase it to all and sundry. That the NNP, they were there for 23 years and a half. The NDC, only 21 months. And look at some of the achievements of the NDC. They have done a remarkable job. And something as simple as free hot meal for kids in the school, just as simple as that. Government paying for that. NNP never had the vision to pioneer such an initiative. Something as simple as that. And we can go on and on looking at other things, but I used a very simple example. Very, very simple example. I talked about the free tuition policy, where you have places like Jamaica, Barbados, Guyana, Trinidad. I mean, they have given their people in the last 3, 4, 5 decades the opportunity to free education all the way up to university. Government footing that bill. It's just different, right? Totally, totally different. So we are playing a catch-up role or game right now. We're catching up, but it will take a long time Because an educated population is a productive population. And that is what we are seeing today in our country. And we have to commend the government for that. We have to applaud them. They're doing it differently, and they're getting results. And that is what is important. They're getting results. So I want to, again, commend the government, applaud the government for a job well done, a job well done. And keep doing it. So far, so good. All right? We may not agree with everything, right? For example, a caller just called saying, hey, I don't think it's a good idea to give the opposition forces the $10,000 too, right? So there would be disagreements. There will be disagreements. But at the end of the day, we can all be happy with the fact that we are moving forward. Things are happening for our country. The country is being transformed, and we are loving it. We are loving it. Today, the funeral of, well, I was looking for his name, all right? Mr. Ned, will take place at the Seventh Adventist Church in Paradise, all right? So the Paradise Seventh Adventist Church, it will take place there today. I think the viewing starts at 11, and the funeral service will be at 1 p.m. at Paradise Seventh Adventist Church today. All right, he was the husband of the late Whipple Ned, and many people who followed politics for many years, they would know. All right, they would know who I'm talking about. She was a politician. She was a politician, and she served St. Andrew Northeast for quite a while, you know. She was the mother of Kenneth Ned and the others. So is the father of Kenneth Ned and the others. That would be today. That would be today. All right, that would be today at Paradise. Paradise. In fact, I will be at that funeral in St. Andrew today at Paradise, that church, the Seventh Adventist Church there. All right, I will be in that funeral service today. They're very good people to me, very close, and I will be there. Folks, don't forget my 10th anniversary, 10 years of your humble servant doing these programs, serving you, volunteering my time and effort. Remember, I have an event planned for May the 31st. May the 31st, that's Friday, May the 31st, starting from 4 in the p.m. until 10. And the reason why it's 4 in the p.m., there are Seventh-day Adventists who may want to pass by. All right? Yes, there will be show tonight. There will be show tonight. I will be on tonight. Lacey G, I know. Yes, I will be on tonight. Yes, Abigail. There will be program tonight. So just saying, you can pass by. Yes, Lydia. Yes, there will be show tonight, Lydia. Yeah, it's a Seventh Adventist funeral, so you know what that says. All right, so there will be show tonight. Good. You think all you easy? All you ain't easy, you know. So again, just saying, I have the tickets. I have the tickets. All right, I have the tickets. It's 50 EC, 50 EC, 50 EC tickets. I have the tickets. So it's 50 EC. If you want a couple, you can get that. I have the tickets, and earlier you buy them, or purchase them, it will be good. And those who are outside, meaning you not able to make it, but sponsor a couple tickets, buy a couple tickets. All right, it's 50 EC. It would be a good way of showing appreciation. So, folks, have a wonderful day. Take good care and bye for now. Have a wonderful day. Take good care and bye for now. All right, I'll be back with you tonight, starting from 8 p.m. Yes, I will be back with you tonight.